The night shift. Marcus adjusted his security guard uniform one last time before approaching the towering glass building. Hartwell Medical Research Facility stretched 23 floors into the night sky, its windows gleaming like dead eyes. The pay was too good to refuse, 3 times what he'd made at his last job. But something felt wrong about a place that needed security guards who were specifically told never to look at the research floors. "You're the new guy?" A gruff voice emerged from the shadows near the entrance. An older man with hollow cheeks and tired eyes stepped into the light. "I'm Peterson. Been doing nights here for 8 years. Marcus shook his withered hand. "Marcus Johnson. Thanks for showing me around." Peterson's grip lingered uncomfortably long. "3 rules, son. Don't go above the 15th floor. Don't ask questions about the sounds you hear. And never, ever, look directly into the cameras on floors 16 through 23. Why not? Because some things look back." By 2 a.m. on his 3rd night, Marcus had grown used to the building's odd rhythms. The elevators that moved on their own. The flickering lights on floors he wasn't supposed to visit. The way his radio crackled with static every time he passed the stairwell marked "Authorized personnel only." But tonight was different. A low humming echoed through the marble lobby, seeming to come from the walls themselves. Marcus checked his logbook, no maintenance scheduled. The humming grew louder, accompanied by what sounded like whispers. He grabbed his flashlight and walked toward the sound. It was coming from the elevator shaft. Through the emergency phone mounted beside the elevator, he could hear fragments of conversation in a language that made his ears ache. The display above the elevator doors showed it moving, floor 16, 17, 18, 19. The whispers stopped. The elevator was descending. 15, 14, 13. Marcus backed away, but his feet felt heavy, like the floor was pulling him down. The elevator dinged softly at each floor. 3, 2, 1. The doors opened. It was empty, but the smell that poured out made Marcus gag, something between rotting meat and burning plastic. On the elevator floor was a single handprint, burned into the metal. A child's handprint. Peterson. Marcus called out the next evening, but the old guard was nowhere to be found. His replacement, a nervous young woman named Sarah, avoided eye contact when Marcus asked about him. "Peterson requested a transfer," she mumbled. "Day shift. Said he couldn't handle nights anymore." Marcus felt a chill. Peterson had worked nights for 8 years. Around midnight, Marcus found himself staring at the security monitor bank. 16 screens showed different areas of the building. The top row displayed floors 16 to 23, but they were always dark, showing nothing but empty hallways and closed doors. Except tonight, something was different about camera 19. There was a figure standing in the hallway, just a silhouette, perfectly still. Marcus leaned closer to the screen. The figure appeared to be a child, small and motionless. Against every instinct, Marcus found himself looking directly at the monitor. The child's head turned toward the camera. Toward him. Marcus jerked back, but it was too late. On the screen, the child began walking forward, getting closer to the camera with each step. The image grew larger and clearer until Marcus could see its face, pale, gaunt, with eyes that were completely black. The child pressed its hand against the camera lens from the inside. Every monitor in the security room went black. In the darkness, Marcus heard the elevator ding. The building's emergency lighting cast everything in a hellish red glow. Marcus's radio was dead, his cell phone showed no signal, and the main door wouldn't budge. The electronic locks had engaged. The elevator was still running, moving between floors with mechanical precision. Each time it stopped, Marcus heard footsteps in the hallways above. Small footsteps. Growing desperate, Marcus grabbed the emergency key and opened the stairwell door marked "Authorized personnel only." The stairs led up into absolute darkness. He had to find another way out. As he climbed, the temperature dropped with each floor. His breath became visible, then began freezing in midair. On the 16th floor, he opened the stairwell door and immediately wished he hadn't. The hallway stretched impossibly long in both directions, lined with doors that had no numbers, no handles, just smooth metal surfaces. But worse than that were the sounds coming from behind them, scratching, crying, and something that might have been laughter. At the far end of the hallway stood the child from the camera, no longer pale but burned, its skin blackened and peeling. It raised one charred hand and pointed at Marcus. "You looked," it whispered, and its voice came from every door simultaneously. "You looked, and now you see." The doors began to open. What poured out of those rooms defied description. Children, dozens of them, all bearing the same burns, the same black eyes, the same accusatory stare. They moved like water, flowing down the hallway toward Marcus with impossible speed. Marcus ran, taking stairs 3 at a time, but the building seemed to stretch upward forever. Behind him, he could hear them climbing, their burned hands slapping against metal rails. On the 20th floor, he found what he was looking for, an office with files scattered across the desk. In the red emergency light, he read fragments of documents. Project Nightfall, classified. Subjects 1 to 47. Terminated due to adverse reactions. Recommend immediate facility shutdown. Cover-up protocol authorized. Test subjects were local orphans, ages 6 to 12. Marcus understood now. This wasn't a medical research facility, it was a tomb. The children had died here, burned alive by whatever experiments had taken place. And now they were trapped, along with everyone who discovered the truth. The scratching sounds were getting closer. Marcus reached the roof access, but the door was locked. Behind him, the stairwell filled with whispers and the sound of small feet on metal stairs. The emergency lights flickered and went out, leaving him in complete darkness. A small hand grabbed his ankle. "You have to choose," the burned child said, its voice echoing in the darkness. "You can join us, or you can become like Peterson, alive but never sleeping, never forgetting what you've seen. We'll let you leave, but you'll carry us with you forever." Marcus felt more hands grabbing at his clothes, his arms, his face. They were ice cold and left burned handprints on everything they touched. "Or," the child continued, "you can stay and help us. Help us make sure no one else ever works nights here again. Help us make sure the world knows what happened." The lights flickered back on. Marcus was surrounded by 47 burned children, all staring at him with expectant black eyes. He looked down at his own hands. They were beginning to smoke. "Choose," they whispered in unison. Marcus smiled, feeling the heat building in his chest. "I choose justice." The next morning, Hartwell Medical Research Facility posted another job opening for a night security guard. The pay was excellent, 4 times the normal rate. Sarah, working the day shift, found Marcus's uniform neatly folded by the security desk with a note. "Some things are worth burning for." The building was quiet during the day, but at night, people in the surrounding buildings reported seeing lights moving on the upper floors and hearing children's laughter echoing through the walls. The job posting remained open. No one who applied ever lasted more than 3 nights. But sometimes, late-night drivers passing the building reported seeing a security guard standing in the lobby, waving at them with burned hands, as if warning them to stay away. The building still stands. The job posting is still active. And somewhere in the basement, 48 children wait for the next person who will look directly into the cameras on floors 16 through 23. Because some things look back.